I'm going to begin work on rehabbing this Snow Nealley Hudson Bay axe. This is the early style here with a much wider pole. It's 1 3/4 pounds. You can see it has some surface rust. We're going to get rid of that. There's a couple of gouges here. I'm going to sand that down. I'm going to remove this tape. This tape is probably a good idea if you like it, and I don't. It does provide a hand grip there. It's been on a long time. This is that old cloth style electrical tape that I haven't seen in many years. Nowadays they have that shiny plastic crap. But this is, the handle's in pretty good shape, and it's actually a nice handle. You could see some darker shading in through here. I think with a little bit of cleanup and some oil, this will be a nice handle. So I'm going to start to work on this, and we'll see how it comes out. So far, all I've done is one pad of triple-aught steel wool, and I'm trying to get the light across. Here you can see all the rust has come off, yet it's still a dark axe. You don't always need vinegar on every axe you come across. You can see that it's just patina, no rust. I still think there's just a little bit worn, but not as much as you might think. You can see the line here. This might be a laminated axe. I'm not 100% sure. Could be the temper line, the hardening line, but some of these early axes were laminated, and I'm going to look closer, see if I can see a seam there. This descended from the main wedge pattern, so it's a little bit different than their later Hudson Bays. You can now see it's stamped LL Bean, Freeport, Maine, right there. Probably a camera won't pick that up. It's a very light stamp, but definitely readable. I also rubbed this bottom part down with the steel wool, and I think that's all that part's going to need. Now I'm going to take this tape off and see what it looks like underneath there. Just as I thought, a lot of the tape stuck to the handle. So next I'm going to try to use this on it with that steel wool, see if I can rub all that off of there. Well, I got the tape off, and then scrubbed it down with alcohol and steel wool and got all that glue out of there. The bad news is there was a little bit of a crack right there. It doesn't go very deep. Right in here. So I'm just going to sand that down and see what it looks like further, along with sanding out this gouge right here, and try to make it a little bit symmetrical as I sand this out. I'm going to start with 60 grit, just hand sanding, and a sanding block to keep everything flat, and do this crack down here at the same time. I'm not going to sand anything below right here. It's not necessary. We might want to even out the color a little bit here by sanding, but the head is looking really nice. Okay, I have it sanded down. I did inject some glue as good as I could in this crack here. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. And then let it dry, sanded it down. I filled in this hole here a little bit with glue and sawdust mix, and again sanded everything down up above that tape area. Everything down below is original. You can see a really good grain pattern, but there's some drying marks, or drying cracks rather. I don't know if you can see that. We're going to next put oil all over the handle and on top. I put some tiny wedges in because the head was a little bit loose there and right there. That tightened it right up, but I don't know how long it'll last. I'm really interested in saving this handle. It's a 24-inch handle. They're very hard to find right now. It's got a full fawn's foot. I believe it's the original handle. That's because Snow and Nealley always used these big iron wedges. I think this axe is from the 1920s. L.L. Bean marked, and 1920 is when L.L. Bean and William Nealley started to have their collaboration where they sold Snow and Nealley axes under the L.L. Bean name. And again, I think this is the correct edge almost. It was just, that's just the design. It's descended from the main wedge pattern, just slightly convexed at the top and the bottom here. The bevel is uniform all across here. Maybe just worn down a little bit. I'd say less than 1/8 of an inch actually. It looks more, but that's just the design. Anyway, we're going to put oil on this next, see how that comes out. Well, it took the first coat of oil. You could see the light patches where there was heavier sanding. Right there where that big gouge was. It's nice and smooth now. But the color's different. I spent about a half hour rubbing in oil. Then I wiped it all off. We'll let it dry overnight and do it again tomorrow. But it came out pretty good. I think it's going to be a decent handle. I wouldn't trust it on a major expedition because of this right here. I think it might break eventually with heavy use. But I know it's there, so I won't be too hard on this axe. I just like that it's the original handle. Original 1920s, I believe, maybe 30s, but it's very early. Snow and Nealley made L.L. Bean axe. Completely derusted. 1 3/4 pounds. It says down right there. Nice old hickory handle. Full fawn foot. Thanks for watching.